This is Patrick Russell. I'm interviewing Raymond Sylvester for the first time. This interview is taking place at La Fiere, France, on June 8th, 2014. The interview is being conducted by the Making History Project for a project named War and Peace, Memories from World War II. And let's first start with how you landed here in Normandy. When was that?
About 2 weeks after D-Day. I don't know the exact date, but approximately 2 weeks after D-Day.
Okay, and what service were you with?
With the 86th Chemical Mortar Battalion, a very powerful unit commanded by Colonel James Doyle from Houston, Texas.
All right, and what was your role with the 86th?
I was in operations greater part of the war, and after the Battle of the Bulge, we crossed the Rhine. I was made Battalion Sergeant Major.
Okay. And what did you specifically do on a day-to-day basis?
Well, basically every day, like I say, I was in operations, and we operated up in the front lines during our 4 companies that we had in battle, and I had to go to Corps headquarters every day and get all the know where the German positions were on the map and where all the American positions were on the map. Bring it back to my outfit, and then the operations officers from each company would come to me and update their map.
All right, so you would coordinate where everybody was,
Yeah, oh yeah.
and you made sure that if anything was going to, if there was any fire, it was going to go to the right place.
Right.
Okay, and that was your job.
That was my job.
Okay.
In fact, I have a picture over there of my headquarters.
Okay. And this is who?
That's me.
This fine young gentleman is you,
That is me.
Mr.
Yeah.
Sylvester.
Right. I had a war map there, and like I say, I had to keep it updated so that our operations officers from each company would come to me and update their maps.
Okay. And were you in charge of is it a mortar squad? Is that what you dealt with, the mortar?
We had 4 companies with 12 mortars in each company, and we were very powerful outfit. We had rifle barrels in the mortars, and we fired 25-pound shells, both white phosphorus and high explosive, and we were capable of putting out 20 rounds a minute each mortar. So that really is a lot of firepower.
Yes.
And we fired white phosphorus and high explosive, the white phosphorus and smoke screens for our infantry so they could advance. And then once we fired that high explosive, that white phosphorus, once it hit, it burst and spattered, this white phosphorus. It's fire, you can't put it out. Then we get the Germans out of their foxholes, and then we put in the high explosive real quick, and then our infantry could advance. Yeah.
So you would alternate? You would start with white phosphorus?
Yes, if they
that they were dug in?
Yeah, they get word to us and tell us what position to fire in, and we put in that white phosphorus first in rapid succession, and then followed right up with high explosive, and that white phosphorus, like they would burn, they would get them on their foxholes, they'd be trying to put out the fire, they couldn't. I burned across men, they were right on their hands, and he's dead, they were so burned. And then our infantry could advance. And also, of course, we used white phosphorus for smoke, so our infantry could advance. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how many tubes did you have in your?
A total of 48.
48.
12. We had 4 companies, so 12 in each company.
And usually you would fire all concentrated at the same time?
Yeah, well, depending, what our target was.
And how big of an area would that cover?
2 miles. We had a 2-mile range.
Okay. And then when the shells would impact, what was the radius of your concentrated fire? How much territory would that cover?
Well, I'm not sure. I don't seem to recall what that was, but it was a good area anyway.
Yeah. You wouldn't want to be there, right?
No, 25-pound shells.
Okay.
Yeah. And consequently, really, we operated up in the front line for 300 and some odd days without any relief at all.
That's when you first landed? You were up there for 3?
We got into battle, yes. And we didn't have any relief at all. And like I say, our main purpose was we were the 86th Chemical Mortar Battalion. So we had to operate around the front line because if Hitler had used gas, we had it. So we had a 2-mile range, so we could fire beyond our unit into the German lines.
You had gas as well?
Oh yes, we had the Germans use it. I mean, we were a chemical mortar.
What kind of gas did you guys have?
I don't know what kind of gas it was. I know it's gas. And thank the good Lord that Hitler didn't use it.
Okay. When you landed on D-Day plus 2 weeks, what did you see on the shores of Utah Beach? Take me there. What did you see?
Well, there was thousands of soldiers, it seemed like, all trying to get up away from the water, themselves, and get going, get out of there.
There was a big mass of humanity.
Oh yeah.
Like a beehive.
Oh yeah. And you look back towards England, and it looks like the ships were so thick that you could walk right back on them. Seems like right back to England.
It seemed like there were more ships than there was water.
Oh boy. And then, and the soldiers kept coming, no matter what. They kept coming and kept coming. And one good reason probably why we were successful.
I heard from somebody that you were a pretty good marksman. Was that true?
I was.
Tell me about that.
Well, I was very fortunate. I could outshoot everyone in my outfit. I was an expert, and nobody could touch me. I was good, And I was also an expert with a 45. Yeah.
We got one of the C-147s flying right over us right now.
But I grew up really with guns in my early childhood, firing guns and everything else.
So even though you were an operations officer in a mortar battalion, you were the best shot there was.
I was the whole of it. Yes, I was. I was very.
Did you ever have to practice with that on the battlefield?
No. I didn't. No. Well,
They kept you as the guy in charge of the map.
Yeah. Really, basically, yeah.
Okay, good.
Oh, I fired my rifle, but I never know for sure whether I hit anybody or not. But oh yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So what happened after you landed? Where did you go from Utah Beach?
Our first major battle was St. Lo.
Okay.
And we went up there to support the 82nd Airborne Division to take it. And it was just blown all to pieces when we finally left there, And then we went over and closer to Patton. And when he built up enough strength to take off and go to Paris, we were transferred to the 9th Army to get out of the British Peninsula to take the submarine pens of Brest.
Okay.
We fired several thousand rounds on Brest, and both White Boston and explosive, and it took 7 weeks to take it, but it was bombed straight, artillery fired all the time on it. And it was all blown to pieces when we left, when they surrendered. It was underground tunnels all under Brest, and there was thousands of German soldiers underneath there. So finally they surrendered. Yeah.
In St. Lo, the church is kind of in the middle of a medieval fortress up high. Is that the area that you had to take?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what did you have to do in that capacity? You were firing up there?
My outfit was, yes. Yeah, they were.
And that church was split in two, if I recall, correct?
I don't believe it was fired on, purposely, but you know, they show shells are coming in, and the sun watches it. Some of the buildings do get destroyed, but we would never purposely fire at a church, you know.
Did you make it up to the top of St. Lo?
No, I didn't. I was outside of, you know, I was outside of St. Lo. Yeah,
okay, and when you...
My units did, though. They were, yeah.
When you accomplished your mission, then you moved on to the next spot.
Yeah, we went over, like I said, joined up with we were with Pan's forces, but we had minor skirmishes with the Germans all in through there, different places. And then, like I say, when Pan built up enough strength to head for Paris, then we were transferred to the 9th Army and went to Brest. And after that, we went up through into Bastogne and up into Belgium, the Hutchin Forest. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then, of course, we were involved in the Battle of the Bulge. Yeah.
In terms of, so you were part of the 3rd Army with Patrick?
Well, I was with the 3rd, and then I was with the 9th, and when I went to Bastogne and up in Belgium, I was with the 1st Army, so
okay.
I served 3 different armies.
All right, so when you were in Brest, did you have a chance to go inside of Brest after it was captured?
Oh, yes, I was right in. In fact, I have pictures there somewhere with me in Brest.
Did you see any of the submarines?
No, there were no subs there at all. They'd gone.
Okay.
But I was in the pens and, you know, looked at them, yeah.
So then, from Brest, you moved on to Bastogne and the Battle of the Bulge.
Through Bastogne, and, yeah.
What experiences did you have in Bastogne?
Well, we just set up, you know, and fight normal missions, you know, supporting our infantry, whatever they, you know, whatever their problem was, we supported them and joined them, and yeah.
Were you part of the troops that were surrounded?
No, we weren't. Well, I was there, but I don't think I was surrounded, but no, I wasn't far away.
Okay.
Yeah.
So were you part of the army that came to get those guys out of Bastogne?
No, I wasn't. I came in, I think, right after that. Yeah, I came right into Bastogne after, like I say, I was over to Brest there, you know, 7 weeks. Yeah.
Okay. And then from there, where did you go?
We were in Belgium.
Oh, we have another flyover.
Yeah.
Some more C-147s flying over in jumpers.
Right. While we were in Belgium, we captured Dolhain, and we have a monument right in one end of the town with a unit on it and everything. And yeah.
Okay, which town was that?
Dolhain.
Okay.
Yeah, Dolhain.
And there's a monument to the 86 there?
There is, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we got credit for liberating that city. Yeah.
What experiences did you have in the Hurtgen Forest?
Well, we fired normal missions, you know, every day. We, like I say, in close support of our infantry. Whatever, when they needed support, you know, we were right there and available. Because, like I say, we were up in the front lines all the time. Yeah.
Was there a particular tactic to make sure that you would fire a mortar round to take out the tops of the trees to make the trees fall down?
No, we never did that.
No?
No, because we got up over, you know, yeah.
From the Hurtgen Forest, where did you go?
We went right up into Germany. Up into Germany, where we got caught in the Battle of the Bulge. And I was, my unit, part of it was up around the entrance where the Germans came through to dissipate the Battle of the Bulge, and we had a forward CP there, and many of our vehicles were there, and our boys were sleeping in foxholes and in some of the houses. And our guards heard these tanks coming that night, but they thought they were ours. Boy, when they got up and anyway near where we were, our vehicles were completely destroyed.
This is a photo of that?
Yeah, and on the back. Yes, it is.
So you thought the American tanks were coming, and it turns out they were German tanks.
They were German, and our guys thought they were actually.
Do you know what type of tanks they were?
No, I don't. No, I don't.
So what happened? Did you had to hightail it out of there?
Oh yeah, they all got away. To my knowledge, no one got captured there, and we made it back through the woods and got back to our main units. And of course, when Hitler, the Germans broke through, they broke right through our lines. So we had to fight like heck to straighten our lines again, and we keep moving back and fire, and they had new places all picked out for us to move back to that place. Then we set up and we'd fire again, and just as fast as we could fire, and move back to new positions, because we had to straighten our lines there. And finally we kept moving back, and then finally we joined the 82nd Airborne Division, the 101st, and we formed a straight line there. And the Germans, they said, "This is it. You don't go back any farther." So we stayed right there and we fought. And the Germans had enough, and they turned around and went back. Heavy casualties, you know. Yeah.
And this week, you actually had the opportunity to get in one of these airplanes.
I did.
And who were you with? Which division? It was the 82nd?
No, I don't know what. Why? Yes, I think the paratrooper were 82nd.
Okay. Yeah. How was that experience?
You know, oh, it was something else. It was just so nice, and the view that we got up there, you know, looking down on the land was so beautiful. Of course, we could see that all the land was all divided, hedge road like hedge road like they were, of course, back when we were there, which made it mighty hard for fighting. But it was so beautiful, and it was nice, and I really enjoyed it. And I enjoyed being there with the paratroopers. Yeah.
And when you were working with your outfit, you were working the map. What else did you have to do?
Well,
you would coordinate with headquarters. Is there anything else you'd have to do?
Oh yeah. Well, basically that's about all I had to do was get back to my operations office, and basically that was about all I had to do.
I see you're wearing some medals.
I am.
Some of them look new. What did you get?
Oh boy. This here is the highest reward that the French give out.
Okay.
And,
you got the Legion of Honor there?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, yes. And this one here we received at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. We went to the Chemical Corps there for a visit of all our veterans, and we were well received. And the general, he was right there with us all the time, and oh boy. It was something else, really. A great privilege.
It's the Order of the Dragon.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay.
Yeah, Order of the Dragon.
And that's your original uniform,
that's
correct?
My original uniform. It's 70 years old.
And 70 years later, you still fit in it just fine.
I do. I'm very fortunate to be able to.
Some say that war is hell. Have you heard that phrase before?
I have, believe me. I have, yeah.
We got another flyover. They're loud, aren't they?
Yeah.
So, do you agree with that statement that war is hell?
Oh, it is. It definitely is.
How so? Yeah. What did you experience that made war hell?
Well, a lot of things. We were up there, of course, artillery was coming in and going over us, and the ones you could hear was all right. You know they're going over us. But the ones you don't hear are the ones that would be landing around us. Yeah.
So it would be often that the Germans would try to counter your mortar.
Oh yes,
they would shoot back at you.
They were firing all the time. Oh yes. Oh yes, they were.
And what could you do to make it safer for you? Is there anything you could do?
No, except the mortar fire, shell fire was coming in. We had foxholes, of course, and we'd get into the foxhole, temporarily. Yeah, and the shells would be landing around you and back of you and everywhere else. But like I say, the good ones, you could hear them, and we knew those were going over us. But the ones you couldn't hear, the ones that were going to land close to us. Yeah.
And how often did that happen, if ever?
Oh, yes, it happened a few times. It had to happen. But, we were just lucky. Of course, a lot of our boys naturally didn't get killed, in battle by shells and so forth, yes.
Did you, any other times where you experienced basically war being held outside of the bombs raining down on you and you jumping into your foxhole?
Well, of course, during the Battle of Bulge, that was a big battle, and that was the decisive thing of the war. It really was. After the Battle of Bulge, it was over, but it was fierce fighting.
And to you, that was some of the worst times.
I believe it, yes. I mean, it was all tough, nothing was easy, but that was really
What specifically was tough about the Battle of the Bulge for you?
Well, I don't know. I know, like I say, it was fierce.
The weather?
Oh, the weather was, we had snow. We had some snow, and our tanks would get hauled up in the snow and everything else, and but it was miserable fighting naturally in the snow. It was cold, but it really was. It was tough because fighting in such cold weather in the snow. It wasn't good, but.
Did that affect your equipment at all?
No.
The mortar tubes?
No, it didn't.
Oh?
No, it didn't. No.
Did any of these events have any impact on you after you left the war?
Well, I think for a while it kind of bothered you, but once you got home, visited your family and friends, you sort of forgot it. It settled down. You didn't talk much about it, I know, for a long time, and it bothered you naturally. It did. Of course, a lot of our boys didn't make it. They were buried in Normandy, the American cemetery there, and then we had more boys buried up in Belgium, the American cemetery up there. Yeah, it was sad that they didn't make it, but I was very fortunate.
And you've only spoken about this recently, right?
Yes. Yeah.
What made you want to talk about it now?
Well, I don't know. Primarily, I guess, because you wanted to know what it was all about.
Okay, good. Well, it's important.
Yeah.
Outside of the things that you went through with the counter battery fire and the Battle of the Bulge, did you see any of the concentration camps at all?
I did. I crossed after the Germans retreated from the Battle of the Bulge. We had the feeling the war was, coming to an end, and we crossed the Rhine at Remagen. And
that's a big bridge, right?
Yeah. Well, we didn't. We went across on temporary bridges. There was welding crews out on the bridge, welding all the time, trying to save the bridge because the Germans were shelling it over the mountain. And but anyway, finally it went in. And all our welding crews went right into the river. They drowned. And
oh no.
Yeah. And at the beginning of the bridge, I've been over there since, and they had taken up all the railroad tracks. They never rebuilt the bridge. They'd taken up all the railroad tracks, and there's a memorial at the entrance of where the railroad bridge was. There's a memorial there. All the names of all the boys who lost their lives, in their pictures and all. And there were several in the welding crew that lost their lives there. Yeah.
there, we come up at Buchenwald.
So you made it to Buchenwald?
German concentration camp, yeah. What a sad sight that was.
What did you see?
Oh boy, I tell you, the people were walking around there with that blue and white striped uniform. They were just like walking skeletons. Some in the barracks were so weak they couldn't even get off their bunks. And we saw in front of the crematories bodies, human bodies piled up naked, and waiting for somebody. They told us that two men would stand outside the crematory doorway there, that was big, about 4 feet square, I guess it was, and the two men would pass the bodies inside the opening, and the 2 men would receive them inside, and then throw them into the ovens. Mm. Yeah.
Was your unit one of the first ones to arrive at Buchenwald?
No, not all of us. No.
How soon did you arrive after it was liberated?
Well, I was there basically about the time it was liberated. I was.
Okay.
And like I say, all the Germans had gone. They took off. The whole bunch of them, all the guards, and they were just gone.
And they left all the survivors there fending for themselves.
Yes. Oh yes.
And so, what was going through your mind when you saw this?
Oh, I don't know. It was such a sad sight, you know, and we had to put, I forget what it was now, lime or something on the bodies, you know, and the German people around there didn't, well, they said they didn't know what was going on around there, so they were all lined up after we had taken it, and we were forced to come down and go through the camp and help bury all the bodies that were there, piles of them, you know, and they were forced to help.
All right, so you were telling me about Buchenwald and the how close to the camp was the town?
Oh, we were basically right on the edge of town. Basically right on the edge of the town, and the people claimed they didn't know anything about what was going on there.
Did you believe them?
No, that's hard to believe. But anyway, like I say, they rounded up all the people and forced them to come down to inside the camp and help take care of the bodies, you know, and bury them and all that. And, yeah, it was sad. They told us that they would take a lot of the Jewish people there down to, there was a huge pit, like a gravel pit. And they claimed they'd round up a whole mess of them down there and dynamite them, anything to get rid of them, you know, just...
Dynamite people?
Yes.
Who told you that?
The guards there that was in Buchenwald. Yeah, they said they'd round them up, put them down. They wanted to get rid of the boys. They didn't care how they get rid of them, but they wanted to get rid of them because they kept coming in and the camp was full. And oh yeah, I don't know how many they slaughtered there, but you know, probably like all the other camps, was many, many, many.
Did this make a lot of your soldiers angry? Did they get mad when they saw this?
Yes, I'm sure we all felt it was too bad. You know, we just couldn't understand how people are supposed to be human, how they could do something like that. It was so sad, and it was terrible. They were starving them to death anyway to kill them, you know. Yeah, they were some of the concentration camps over there. They make them undress and go into these big rooms and say they were going to have to take a shower, and they'd get in there and turn the gas on and gas them all, kill them all. So I mean, they just wanted to get rid of them. You know, it's sad, very sad.
How long did you have to stay near Buchenwald?
I didn't stay there too long. And from there I went up to the 38th parallel outside of Berlin, where we had an arrangement as far as we could go. We had to stop there and meet up with the Russians. Yeah.
And did you actually meet up with the Russians?
Oh yes, we did. Yeah.
And did you like shake hands with the Russians?
Yeah. Yes, we did.
And were you able to communicate with them in any way?
Not too good, no.
Did you trade anything?
No, basically we just
shook hands and, yeah, basically that was it.
What was your impression of the Russian soldiers?
Well, I mean, to me, they seemed basically about like us, We all had a job to do, and we did it. Yeah. I think they were glad it was over, too, because they had very heavy fighting with the Germans in their country.
On the opposite side of war, there's also peace.
Mm-hmm.
And did you have any opportunity to experience peace while you were serving during the war?
No.
Whether it's acts of kindness.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I will say that when we went into a town, we were trained to watch the movement of curtains or anything like that, and we'd see the curtains move, and then finally the curtains would be open, and we could see the people standing in there looking out, and then the next thing, the door would be open, and they would stand on the front lawn, because Hitler had told them to get out, burn their homes, and get out, because we were going to kill them when we got there. But they didn't believe him, and I'm glad they didn't, because I think they were glad to see us. I really do. I had that feeling.
Did you have any interactions with any of the civilians during the war?
No, we didn't. No,
Did you stay with any of them or use their house for any purpose?
We took, we overtook homes because I guess like I say, when the war was going on, a lot of people just abandoned their homes and got out of the way. And once we got into Germany, we used their homes to sleep in at night whenever we could, Yeah.
Okay. So in Germany?
Yeah, in Germany.
Did you interact with any of the German civilians?
Well, basically, like I say, the ones we saw that came out of their homes, and like I say, Hitler told them to get out of there and burn their homes because we were going to kill them all.
Okay.
So they, like I say, I had that feeling that they were glad to see us, and I know a lot of them were. And a lot of the regular German soldiers, they didn't want to fight, and they were guided by SS men. And knowing this now, I can't believe they were directly shooting at us. Probably shooting at trees or any old thing, But they didn't want to fight. They surrendered every chance they got. And it was rumored that a lot of the times they were all guided by SS men. So they wouldn't surrender.
Forcing them on.
Yeah. But they would surrender every chance they got. They would. They'd surrender to us, and I know they were glad to see us.
What about the French civilians? Did you have any interaction with them?
Not too much with them because, like I say, we were in constant battle all up through France and everything. So I don't know where the French people went, the children, but they were gone. We didn't really see everything to do with the French at all. Only since we've been going over for our reunion here, we become, associated with the French people.
And they've been great hosts this week for you, right?
You wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe it. They tell us how much they love us, and I know they told us that under the German command, their life was very discouraging. They had nothing to look forward to. They ate all their food and killed all their cattle, and they said we came over and gave it all back to them. So they were so grateful for what we did. They loved the Americans, so they told us.
Yeah.
Yeah, you bet.
Did you ever have any interaction with the enemy? So
No.
Did you ever meet any of the German soldiers up and close?
No, not real close. No.
I see some of your photos. You have one photo here where it shows Germans surrendering.
Yes.
Did you take that photo?
Yeah.
Do you remember what that was all
I
about?
think that was in Brest. That was in Brest, France. See, they like I say, they were underground. They had, I don't know whether it was a mile or what they had underneath there, but they had a lot of tunnels under there, and there were thousands of Germans under there. And finally, after 7 weeks, they surrendered. And we finally took it. But,
And you have a couple photos of some knocked out German tanks.
Yes, yeah.
You have looks like a Panzer tank.
Yeah, yeah.
And looks like a mortar, perhaps, a self-propelled tank.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep. Did you ever have to deal with tanks in your service? Did you have interactions with them?
Our artillery mostly took care of the tanks and so forth. Yeah.
You would come across them as you moved up the front.
Yes.
But luckily you didn't have to deal with them firsthand.
Right, right. Because we had no protection at all, you know, to come in contact with them, you know, so.
Is there anything that I missed asking you about your service during World War II that you'd like to add? Any unique stories that you have or friends that you remember? Something that you'd like to pass along for people to remember about World War II?
Oh, no, I don't seem to recall anything that I don't seem to recall anything like that. One thing I remember, of course, the Germans had a lot of horse-drawn vehicles. We didn't have any horses, of course, so. And
you're talking about horses?
Horses.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there'd be dead horses all over the roads as we went and everything, you know. And I remember one that we came across, well, it was a horse-drawn big buggy with a big tank on it. And then they had, I forget what was it, but, I know soon, I can't think of it. Oh, golly. But anyway, the tank, the horse-drawn vehicle was upside down, and this food was all over the road, dead horses all around and everything. Yeah, and it was something, you know.
Okay.
I know I've had a lot of experiences, but you know, right now I can't think of them. But, yeah.
Well, you had a very good memory.
Well,
You've told me a lot of interesting things.
uh-huh.
You've had a lot of interesting experiences.
And I'm sure there's many more that I can't think of right now, but yeah, this is something else, I'll tell you. You would never believe it, you know, and I've been so honored, and you know, it just sort of seems like I feel that worthy of all this attention I'm getting, you know. But it's wonderful, I'll tell you. I just can't get over it.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of my family is here with me too, and they can't believe it either, you know. It's so nice. And it's so nice to be here with these people of France and Belgium and Germany and so many of the other foreign countries here I've met and talked with them and so forth, and yeah, it's amazing, really. It's just wonderful. Yeah, it's just wonderful.
Well deserved. Thank you.
Well, you're quite welcome. And the good Lord willing, maybe I'll be back here again next year. This is my 6th time here. Yeah,
all right.
So, but this is the best time I've ever had here. This 70th reunion is people back home wouldn't believe it. You know, they just couldn't even imagine what went on here. You know, and everything. Oh, we were so well received, and they must have worked here and prepared this for a year, I guess, to get ready for us to come here.
Mm-hmm.
It's been just wonderful. Yeah. We've met so many nice friends. Yeah, we have.
You mentioned that tomorrow you're going to Mont Saint Michel.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is going to be what, your 3rd time going there?
Yes, I've been there probably. Yes, I've probably been there twice before anyway.
All right. And were you actually involved in part of the action to liberate?
I was right there during the war.
Right.
Of course, then it was in Ireland. You couldn't get out to it, you know. It was in Ireland and you couldn't get out to it. But they, of course, built that causeway out there, and now they say that thousands of visitors come there every year. So that's good, you know.
And how did the Army deal with getting out there when there was no causeway?
We didn't get out there. We didn't get out there at all. We didn't. There was no Germans out there.
Oh, okay.
No Germans. The church on the top of it. Monks lived there, and no, there was no Germans out there at all.
Did you visit it though during the war?
No.
No?
No.
You just saw it from the distance?
Yeah, from on the shore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you enjoy your visit tomorrow.
Well, thank you. I'm sure we will.
Okay.
And I know my family will, because some of them have never been out there before.
It's amazing. Take lots of good photos.
Oh, you bet. You bet.
You're gonna wear a uniform?
No, I probably won't.
I would wear, if you're not gonna wear the uniform,
Yeah.
wear the Legion medal. I think they might give you something.
Is that right?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. If they know what it is.
Sure.
You think they know what it is?
I hope so, if they're
Yeah.
French, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I was truly honored to receive that. Nice. Yes, I brought home several Nazi flags over there. They were all over the place, everywhere. So I brought home some of those. I brought home a German sword. And I brought home a helmet, a German helmet with a bullet hole in the side of it. And I guess that's about all I brought home. And I still have my,
The pistol you brought home, right?
oh, I brought my pistol home, yeah, my 45, yeah.
You brought your own gun back?
Yeah, I had my own, yeah.
Did you find a Luger there?
No, I didn't. I don't remember even looking for one, Yeah. I'm sure
And you have those all tucked away in a safe place?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
Nice.
Yeah. What was that? I told you that the dead horses in the
Sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut. I couldn't think of that. Save my soul. Yeah, it was sauerkraut all over the road, and oh man, it was something else. And dead horses and everything there, and it was a mess out there. So I never wanted any sauerkraut after that.
Actually, I have another question. I noticed in one of your photos, you identified the Germans as Jerry's surrendering.
Yeah.
How did they get the nickname Jerry's?
I don't know. I really don't know where that come from, but they call them Jerry's, yeah. I don't know where it came from, but yeah.
But it just stuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jerry's. German soldiers, yeah.
Very neat. Can we get a photo? Let me get another photo of you.
Thank you.
All right. Good.
Good. Very good.
It's as good as the one that you have there from
Yes.
1934.
Is that right?
You also mentioned, Grandpa, something I just realized fairly recently was maybe there's no connection, but you owned a Jeep your entire life up until 1 year ago. Your whole life.
Yeah.
Was there any connection to your interest in Jeeps from the war?
Well, I knew what they would do. They were a powerful little vehicle, and they got me in so many places, and put them in four-wheel drive, in low range. Sometimes going through the roads over here then were all dirt, and the mud, the ruts would be so deep that you'd be right up to the floorboards of the Jeep. And sometimes you couldn't get through, and you'd back up, move over, and where you'd go, you get through. But
Afraid another rut.
oh, it was awful, yeah. It was awful.
So you had your own Willie Jeep here? You drove
I had
around?
my own Jeep, yes I did. Yeah.
What do you think about when you see them on the road today? You see a lot of them during this week, right?
Yeah, well, I know they're a beautiful vehicle and a powerful vehicle. And I had, like I say, I just gave it to my son here about 6 months ago, and I have a plow on it and everything, I plow snow up there in Maine, and so I figured I was all done with it, so I gave it to my son. But it didn't have much mileage on it. Yeah. So it was so nice, but those Jeeps, they were powerful vehicles. Boy, I don't know what we'd done if we hadn't had them, But another thing on our road, because they had to be all
swept for mines, you know, because the Germans mined everything. Everything. And so sometimes they dig a hole down maybe over a foot or so, plant a mine down there, then cover it over, and they'll put in another mine at the top of it. And of course when our minesweepers come along, they mark it, there was a mine there, they dig up the top one and didn't know there was one down underneath it. So sooner or later, some vehicle, one of our vehicles would get it, you know, because the ruts kept getting deeper and deeper and deeper. Yeah. Oh, they mined everything.
And they were very good at booby trapping,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Oh, they sure were.
And in fact, sometimes they put the mine on top of the mine
Yeah.
so that the minesweeper,
You get the top one, the man was
they
there,
would kill the
The
minesweeper.
minesweeper would be gone, and the fellows that were had to dig the mines out, they'd come along, dig the top one out, fill the hole back in, and take off. You know, there's still a mine down underneath it. And in the German homes, when we got over in Germany and spent some time in the German homes at night, they had these charcoal, I guess, briquettes or something that they put in the stove and burn, and they drill holes in those and mine them things and seal it up. And of course, our boys would come home, build a fire there and throw one of them in.
So they'd be throwing dynamite into the furnace.
Yeah. Didn't know there was, you know, anything in them. Well, like I said, they mined everything. Yeah, they sure did.
You mentioned the hooks on the front of Jeeps that were initially not there but had to be initiated. The hooks on your Jeep for wire cutters.
Oh yeah. Well, when we were in France, it was sad, but you know, in those Jeeps we'd ride along. Couldn't put your tops up. You couldn't even, when we was over in England, we couldn't even put the tops up with German planes, you know, scraping and so forth. So when we got over here in France, and like I say, most of the time too, we had our windshield hooked right down on the hood of the car. So we were sitting up there behind the wheel, you know, and a lot of the boys lost their heads, necks, because they were stringing piano wire across the road. They had to be the French who was doing it. They made out good with the Germans, because the Germans were long gone. So, you know, you'd go over this road here several times, and finally you'd go over it, and there'd be a piano wire right across the road. Catch the guys right here, take their heads right off. It had to be the French that were doing it, because the Germans were long gone. You know, the minute this happened, they put these wire cutters on the front of our bumpers on our Jeeps, and they go up as angle iron, go up and turn, and right in the middle of the turn, they had a notch cut in there so that if we were in the piano wire, it would cut the wire. And, oh yes, we had them on all our vehicles over there after that. Yeah, I mean, basically the Jeeps, and I think our weapons carriers had them too. But that was something new, and of course a lot of the French had it made with the Germans, you know, and it was sad, but yeah, so we had to be careful and watch out, you know. Yeah, I got you. I know we moved when we got into Germany after we left Brest. I can't remember now the name of the town we went into, but we went into this area anyway. And first thing you do is dig a foxhole, you know. And we see these two French people. They're on bicycles, and they were around there. We didn't think anything of it. And boy, did we get shelled that night. The Germans opened up on us, and to my knowledge, I don't think we had any men that got it, but we had foxholes, you know, we get in those foxholes. But the very next morning, these two French people were back there on their bicycles to see what was going on. We grabbed them. We found a shortwave radio up in the woods that they were using. They were in contact with the Germans.
You found the radio?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, so we got them. Oh yeah, we got them.
And what was it? What men, women?
2 men.
2 men.
2 men on bicycles. Yeah. Yeah, they didn't last too long after that.
What happened to them?
Oh, we took care of them. Oh yeah. Well, that's the way it goes. Some of the things that happen when you're in battle, you know. Yeah.
Any comment on MREs? I always ask you about that. I'm
I
curious
think
about your
that was
comments
around
on
Nancy. I think it was Nancy, France, where we got in and encountered the two Frenchmen with shortwave radios. You know, sad those things have to happen, but golly, you know, they did. But you know, a lot of them had it made with the Germans. You know, and I guess.
Did you talk to those two?
Huh?
Did you talk to those two?
No, not after that. Well, we did till we found their radios up in the woods. Yeah. Yeah. We just been in there just that night. That's all. And boy, during the night we were peppered.
How did you find the radio?
The men went along with them on their bicycles and yeah, found them. Yeah. Yeah. Oh boy.
And what are your thoughts on the food rations during the war?
Well, I lived perfectly up in the front lines. Up in the front lines, you had no fresh food at all. We had rations, you know, dry rations, and we used to call them Cracker Jack boxes, but they were, you know, boxes just so long, so thick, and so wide. They had everything in there that we needed for good nourishment, you know. And basically, I lived on that all the time I was over there in combat. And the only time we could get a hot meal or a shower, go back to headquarters, they're way behind the lines, and we get hot food, you know, and everything, and yeah, and get a good shower. And otherwise, when you're in combat, you're lucky if you got a bath for 2 months or so, 3 months maybe, you know. We had to wash in our helmets, and if things came at a lull, not too much going on, we'd go back to the nearest evacuation hospital, and they had showers there, so we could get a good shower and then we'd come back up the front lines again. You know?
How do you take a shower out of your helmet?
You don't. You just wash up. Yeah, you do, believe me. Then we were fortunate that when sometimes we'd come to a pond, you know, and then we jumped into that water and, you know, got a good bath right then in those ponds, you know, as we came up on them. Yeah. Yeah.
And how do you take a shower in Bastogne in the middle of the winter?
Well, I tell the truth, I can't really remember, but I don't think we probably did take any.
Too cold.
Oh yes, yes. It was even cold to wash up your helmet, you know. But certain things you have to do, and yeah, it was tough. But when the weather wasn't too cold, like I say, we'd go back to the nearest evacuation hospital and get a shower. But they didn't come too often. Yeah.
While you were in the service and during your campaigns, do you ever have to use any code words or phrases?
Yes, during the Battle of Bulge we did.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the Germans had come over and parachuted down behind our lines and were around us, you know. So we all had code words that they changed every, so often. Oh yeah, to catch the Germans, you know.
What were some of those code words?
Oh boy, I can't remember. I can't recall what they were. But we captured a lot of them that came through, like I say, got behind our lines there. And yeah, we caught a lot of them.
Is it true that General McCullough told the German officer nuts?
Nuts.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah,
that's true. True story.
Nuts. They wanted him to surrender. He said nuts. Yeah.
How did you guys feel about that response?
I thought it was great. I think we all did. None of us wanted to surrender. We had a job to do. When we came over here to do it, and we wanted to get it done and go home. So,
Oh no,
Sooner the better, right?
You bet. Yeah, you bet. Yeah. But you know, getting back to the Germans coming across our lines, they come up and try to get areas in our jeeps and dressed in American uniforms and guns and everything, and they'd come up and try to get through our lines, and of course we had passwords, and that's how we caught them. They didn't know what was going on. So they like I say, come with our jeeps and wearing our uniforms and our rifles and the whole works. You really had to be careful all the time, really, Different way of life, believe me. It's
always on the edge.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yes.
Different way of life, definitely.
Yeah. Oh yes. Yeah, it certainly is. None of us was used to life like that, but we got used to it soon after we got here, believe me. Yeah. We got used to it soon.
Do you recall a passphrase called Little Orphan Annie?
That sounds familiar, yes it does, but I can't remember now. I just can't remember how it was used. I just can't. But I remember the phrase. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
They chose really unique ones.
Oh yes.
Little Orphan Annie.
Yeah, oh yes. Something that, whatever our password was something that only the Americans would know. The Germans wouldn't know it, so. Like I say, I don't recall now what they all were, but all the Americans knew. Yeah, they did. Yeah. Who was Joe Paloka and like he said, Little Orphan Annie and oh yeah, different names like that. Yes, it was certainly a great experience, and we were glad to see it come to an end. And I'm glad it turned out the way it did.
Where were you when it ended?
I can't recall the name of the town I was in. It was back, I believe it was back in France, but it could have been in Germany. It seems like it was back in France when the Germans surrendered.
And were you done at that point?
Huh?
Did you have to go serve in the Pacific at all, or you were done?
No, but they rushed our unit right home immediately. We were, like I say, a very powerful unit. And what they did, they took men that we went by the point system in the States. Ones that had been in long had so many points that we didn't have to go to the Pacific. So what they did, they took the men before we left Le Havre and went to some of these divisions over there that had younger men that didn't have enough points to get out. And our boys that did have enough points to get out would go in their places and they'd come back and come in ours. But I was being Battalion Sergeant Major, and one or two of the other boys that really rated good, they held our points back on paper until we got back to the States, and then they gave them to us. So we didn't have to go to these units to stay over there. They got us back to the States, and then I think it was about 3 of us, and then they gave us our points, so
and they kept you home.
So we could go home then, yeah. But immediately, once we got home, we had a 30-day recuperation fellow, and everybody went home. And while we were home, they dropped the atomic bomb on Japan, and it was over. The Japanese surrendered. So, nobody in my outfit had to go.
Did you have any tough times adjusting back to life after the war?
Well, no, it don't seem like I remember having any tough times, but no, I don't think so. Don't seem so. I did. Yeah. It's certainly a different life. No doubt about that.
A little less regimented? A little less regimented?
I guess. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Get up and go and hurry and wait. That was the Army when we were in there, Yeah. Hurry and wait. Yeah. What an experience, really. It was. And now most of the boys in my unit, we had around 700, and there's very few of us left. Very few of us left.
Do you go to reunions?
I'm one of the old. We had it right until about 3 years ago, and the group got so small that we abandoned the reunions. And I think there's only somewhere around a dozen of us left. And so, yeah, and
tell me about your wife and her military service.
oh, my wife, she went in the service early, and she enlisted. She was a nurse, so she went in early in 44, and was commissioned and a nurse, and she was sent over to Italy during the war. And when that ended, they sent her to Manila.
Philippines.
Manila, yeah. And I got out, like I say, I was home, got out in August when the Japanese surrendered, but she didn't get home till shortly after the first of the year in 46.
And when did you meet her?
Well, I grew up with her in the same neighborhood when we were young.
And when did you get married?
We got married early in 46.
So after she came back?
After she came back, yes, very shortly after she came back, yeah. Yeah.
And I heard something about you bringing a uniform back here to Normandy from her. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
Tell me about that.
Oh, we made some very good friends here in France, and one family that we met, I don't recall their name now.
Cindy Shamilton.
Huh?
The Shamilton family.
Yeah, Shamilton. Yeah, Cindy Shamilton. And her father and mother, we met them, and her sister. And she was a young woman, naturally, and she just graduated from college a year ago. And last fall, she was teaching school, a school teacher. And like I say, we met her, and all my family met her, and they liked her. Of course, over there, they had a lot of these over here reenactors, you know, wear our uniforms and our jeeps and trucks and tanks and all that. So we met her, and all my daughters agreed that we would take my wife's uniform and give it to her.
Here in France?
Yeah, and she wears it. Yeah, she wears it. She's been with us over there, different things, and she wears my wife's uniform. Yeah.
And she's been wearing it during this week for the D-Day ceremony.
Oh yes. Yeah, a nice young lady. She is very nice. And in fact, her parents are too, and the sister. Yeah. Yeah, we've been very friendly since we first met. Yeah. And then we've met another family from Belgium and become good friends. And they came over to the U.S. last year and stayed a week with us. And they had relatives up in Canada, so they went to Canada first for a week, and then they came down to where we were. And they went back home, and they told us today that next year, I believe they said next year, they were coming back to Maine again, but they weren't going to Canada. They were going to stay with us for 2 weeks. Yeah, yeah.
And how did you meet that family?
Very good friends. Over here in France, at the reunions, yeah, people are so friendly over here. You know, my God. You get to shake hands with so many people, you know, just so many. You just wouldn't believe it. It's so nice. Yeah. So, yeah. I just can't hardly get over the way that they've treated us since we've been over, you know? Don't seem so I feel that worthy of all the attention I'm getting, you know, and all the honor I'm getting. Because really, I'm nobody, you know, I don't know.
Well, you did something unique. You came and fought for liberty on somebody else's soil. And that's not done that often.
Very true, yeah. Very
so
true.
that makes you guys very unique.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm glad I was able to do it. Yeah, I am. It's just I feel sad that all the men in my outfit can't be here today and joining this ceremony, you know, and all the honor we're getting and all that, you know, it's really sad. So I represent all the U.S. forces and back home, and I'm the ambassador, you know, for all of them. Yeah. So there's so many, you know, that, like I say, have gone, and so few of us left. Yeah, I'll be 95 October 11th, so I'm getting up there too. But I'd like to come back again next year. So, the good Lord willing, maybe I'll be here. You know.
Well, we hope to see you back.
I hope to be back. Yeah, I do. It's been wonderful. Yeah. It's been wonderful, and my family, they can't get over it, you know, how nice it's been, you know, either. Yeah, it's been terrific. Yeah. Well, we'll never forget this memorial over here, I can tell you. We'll never forget it. No, all of my family won't either. Something to remember.
Is there a particular site that you saw this week while you've been here that means more to you than the other sites?
No, I don't think so. Of course, we landed on Utah Beach. That makes it a little bit different, but basically we were all around here, you know, during the war. So, but Utah Beach, of course, means a lot to us, like I said. That's where we landed. Yeah. But all the other places have been so nice. It's so nice. Yeah.
Your visit to Brest, Dramp, earlier this week during the celebration. You comment on your visit to Brest?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When the last time you were there? Maybe you can just comment in general about your visit earlier in the week to Brest.
When you?
This week. Earlier this week.
Last
week. I'm sorry. I'm
week.
Yeah.
I think I told you that.
Did you try to stand on the same spot where you were when you were back there?
I had my picture taken there in Brest, but you know, everything has changed so much in the front. It was I don't know what you call it, but trucks were back in there with refrigeration and food and so forth, and they've pulled it all up since we've been there. So it's one solid line there now, so it makes it look a little different. But I recognize the spot where it was. And where
Did you get a picture in that same spot?
Yeah.
That's good.
Oh, yes. But like I say, looking at where the submarine pens were and all the refrigeration and food and everything, supplies, and it looks so different because they've closed in all the whole front of it. So it's straight.
You took the pictures that you brought today and showed me.
Yeah.
Most of them are from Brest.
A lot of them are from Brest. Yeah.
And is there a reason why did that have a particular meaning to you, Brest?
No, not really. I mean, of course, a lot of them in France, some of them are in Germany, you know, but I got pictures about everywhere we went. Yeah. Oh, yes, a lot of memories, naturally, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
All right, well, it's been a long day, and I don't want to take any more of your time.
Well, thank you.
I want you to go out with your family and enjoy the rest of the time that you have here.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you much.
All right, so thank you.